Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're going to be checking out how we got on as we finished up harvesting our winter wheat. We're going to be looking at some of the other things been going on the farm over the last week or so. We're going to be checking out some of the features on the new tractor and how to drive it, and we're going to be also comparing it size wise to the 6930. So bit of an action packed video. Let's have a look and see how we're getting on. Alright, so I have a little bit of footage of the cutting of the winter wheat. It's not that long, it's only a small bit of footage, but I'm going to put that in now. I'll do a small voiceover on it, just to tell you how we got on with it, and we'll come back here now in a second.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. What's left? The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever try.
So, last footage of harvest 2022 getting harvested here at the moment. This is the winter wheat. We hadn't got that much winter wheat this year. We nearly had 90% of it was all winter barley. So we had 10 acres of winter wheat, which we put in this field here. It's part of the land that we got late last year, which didn't get any of the hen manure. It did get slurry earlier in the year, and then it was liquid nitrogen after that, and it done well, done 4 tons to the acre still with that. So I think with a little bit more TLC we should be able to get the yields up on this fairly easily. So quite happy with how it's done. This was the first bit of driving I done in the other than going for a spin or taking people for a spin in it. It's the first proper walk that the new tractor done after it come, so I got a little bit of footage of that, which is nice. So trying to get used to driving the tractor here and flying the drone at the same time, and I'm not sure which was easier or which was harder. I think I do okay. I'm not really sure. I didn't actually look at this footage, but I think I don't do too bad. There is a bit of I think I do have a bit of a swing of the steering wheel, just pulling the trailer back into position, but apart from that, everything else went well. So yeah, nice little bit of footage. I'll let you finish looking at that, let the music play out, and we'll continue on with the video.
Through the highways and on we'll go. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands. And we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the
Alright, so harvest done and dusted, finished for 2022, which is always great to get it done, and best harvest ever we had. Crops were very good, weather was unbelievable. It doesn't always happen like that, so we're very grateful for that. Last time you would have seen some footage here. We had a big pile of wheat possibly parked here. We had a lot of barley parked over here, all sitting ready to get treated and put in the shed for winter. So, and that's what's happened. We got this done last week. We have just over 100 ton of barley here, all treated, all in, nice and safe. I've actually taken a little bit out of it for mixing a ration for calves yesterday. So yeah, that is one section of it that is done. The wheat then is in on this side. Wheat done and dusted as well, and it is stored here and ready for winter feeding. We also had, there's about 40 ton of maize here at the back. So yeah, we had a busy day busting grain. We also had the maize to bust as well because it was whole, and yeah, we had a lot of stuff to bust. So we done a heavy day busting. Actually, it didn't start late because of weather. The first day we were busting the grain, and yeah, got to finish up then the second day for a few hours. Second day, so great to get that done and dusted. And feed is in. Will there be cattle in? Hopefully. Will we be feeding it or will we be selling it? So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think we will be feeding. We're feeding some of it anyway, but whether we'll go as many cattle as usual, I'm not sure. We'll see in the coming months, see what happens. We're not ready for buying cattle yet anyway. So the other thing that, when I put on the light here, the other thing that we done, we had to put an oil cooler on our telehandler. There's always been a little issue with this machine where oil would get hot in it, especially on really busy days. The likes of if you're putting up the silage, or if you were doing a lot of loading the bales where there's a lot of road work involved, or busting the grain, whether you're constantly filling and pushing away from a grain roller, you know, the oil gets really hot in them. It was a bad system for cooling them on them. It's probably one of the only flaws that I could say on the machine itself. And yeah, we've been threatening to put an oil cooler on it for, oh, I don't know, a couple of years, 3 or 4 years, and we finally got one on and fitted. So our friends at Moore Engineering designed a very neat and tidy bracket to hold it, and it works very, very well. We just have a wired into a switch in the cab, just got a John Deere switch, put it onto it, flick the switch, and it just keeps the machine at a nice cool temperature. Oil still gets hot, but nothing like what it was. You know, it's more manageable. I seen Farmer Phil actually fitted one of these on his Veneery earlier in the year, and it's not that dissimilar to this one. So yeah, you know, these machines, you always have these little bits of issues where you're trying to keep them cool, and anything that you can do is always good help. The cooler that was on it was in behind the box here. The battery box is here on the side, so you get into the battery there. So where it was situated, it was never going to do much cooling. There was no fan on it, and the fact that it was there, it just left it fairly easy then to run the pipes out the back, or out over at the side at the chassis, or at the frame of the telehandler, and then up the side for connecting into it. So a little bit of modification on the pipes that had to be taken off, cut, and just positioned a little bit differently, but nothing major, and it worked out very well. So using it plenty over the last couple of weeks since we fitted it, I'm happy with how it's working, so it's a good plus. Right, so next part of the video, with the new tractor out, we're going to give it a little bit of a run up and down the yard, show you some of the features on the Command Pro and how to work it and how it works, and yeah, we'll come back then after that, and we're going to do a look at the size comparison between the new tractor and the 6930. So yeah, have a look at that. Alright, so we're in the tractor. We're going to have a little look at how you drive it and how it differs from the 6930. I bought the 6420S new, got used to driving it fairly quickly and easy to drive, and then the progression on from the 64 to the 6930, it was fairly straightforward. You know, it was basically the same. All the features were all the same, but this is a little bit different. There's a different gearbox in it, and everything is a little bit different. First thing you notice is the Command Arm Pro Vario gearbox. You have no gear stick, so you're not selecting your gear, and you haven't got your auto quad. How you engage the tractor to go forward, you have a little button here in the back, an activation button. You press that, and when you push the lever forward, the tractor starts to move forward. So we're doing 1.5 kilometers an hour. So you want to go faster, you press the lever forward again, and you go quicker. So the more you press it forward, you can nudge it forward, or you can hold it and press it forward. It'll accelerate on. To slow it down, pull it back. Tractor slows down. To stop it completely, there's an indent at the back. You just click it into it, and the tractor stops completely, comes to a standstill. Same going in reverse. Press your button, pull it back, select reverse, and we start to move backwards. And it's the same thing. So if you click it a few times, tractor accelerates on, forward, then to slow it down, the indent stops it. The other thing then that's a little different is if you want to, just say you pull up at the junction and you want to take off from the junction, traffic is clear on both sides. What you do is you press your button at the back, you push it forward and just hit the little indent at the click, and the tractor will accelerate then at full speed until you're at 50k. So basically, if you have a clear road, you want to get her up to full speed. That's how you do it, and that's a lot of the time. If you had a load on or a load of slurry or something like that, I'd just hit it forward there. If you're coming out on the main road and you wanted to get up to full speed, that's just what I do. So yeah, very simple. There's on the side of it here, this button here, you can see there's 3 lights lit on it. That's how aggressive the tractor will accelerate. I actually had it on full acceleration. but there is, we'll say, below normal acceleration, and fast acceleration, I suppose, probably how best to describe it. So yeah, if you weren't in a mad rush or you hadn't a big load on, it would probably do in this one here. It's probably more of a fuel saving mode as well, whereas when you have it in top, it's accelerating harder and harder on diesel and more power used to get up to full speed. So yeah, look, at the first one would do in most cases. So yeah, that is that. The other thing you can do as well is there's a power button here, so you can hit the power button. If you want to use the forward reverse lever, you can select forward. You see now the tractor is now flashing here. It's got the forward is flashing here on the side, and you can use the pedal. So start to just push the pedal down, the tractor starts to move. So depending on how hard you far down you push the pedal will depend how aggressively it accelerates. You can see basically when you accelerate it goes, and then when you lift off completely the tractor will roll to a stop then, and then that works again in reverse. To go into reverse you can either click reverse here, so now we're now pointing in reverse, and you can accelerate again and the tractor will reverse backwards. Or the other thing that you can do is you can use the forward reverse lever and just say we're moving forward, so you're going forward at 3 kilometers an hour there at the moment. To get it to go into reverse, pull your activation button at the back, just click it over, and there she goes straight into reverse. So yeah, fairly simple. And then the same, click it over and she goes back going forward at 3 kilometers. It'll go forward and back at whatever speed that you've it set at. So you just see if it's set at 3 kilometers or you're going at 3 kilometers, it'll do the same in reverse then once you click it over. So yeah, it's a little bit different to drive than the other tractors, and there is a wee bit of getting used to it, to be honest. And I am getting my head around it now fairly well. But I was bailing on Saturday, and I was going to take some footage on Saturday. I haven't really took any footage of driving it because I'm just getting used to it. And I was bailing on Saturday, and I was finishing off a little bit up along a headland, and the nose of it was kind of pointing towards the ditch. Now I was probably about 6-8 foot away from the ditch, pointing straight forward. I was after netting a bale and letting it out. There was enough room. Sorry, no, I wasn't after netting a bale and letting it out. I was after finishing off the row, and I had stopped, and I thought I'd put it into reverse, but I hadn't. It was still going forward, and I was using the clutch, and when I let the clutch out, the tractor jumped forward and nearly went in the fucking ditch. Couldn't believe it, but I didn't, and no harm was done. But look, there is a wee bit of getting used to with it, and hopefully I don't do any harm once I've gotten fully used to it. The other thing is too, there's another nice little feature on it where you can activation button again, pull it over as if you're gonna click it forward or reverse, but there's a creeper mode then, so you can pull it and it'll inch back at really slow speeds. Like, so you're doing I don't know whether you can see it there on the screen, we're doing like 0.09 of a kilometre in reverse there. So if you're backing up to an implement and you're going to come in nice and slow just to get the last wee bit, it's a good way of controlling it. And then the same going forward. So if you're hooking on something on the front arms, you know, just click it forward and you can inch forward. So that's, and then as soon as you let the lever back to neutral, the tractor stops itself and it holds. So even if you're in a little bit of a hill, the tractor will hold. So yeah, that's a nice little feature and something just to get used to using as well. So yeah, that's basically the driving of it. The lever itself can be configured any way you want, really. Like, you can click it up here, you can put any one of your spools on these buttons here, which I have done already. So if I go in here, you can see I've already set up the lever for the baler and the slurry tanker, and as I'm going through the machinery, you know, when I put the drill on it, I'll set it up for the drill, and so on, everything. As I'm going through all the different machines when I get them on, I'll configure the lever as you'd want it, and I'll save it then as well. And yeah, it'll just mean then that you're not having to go in every single time and configure everything you know, how you'd like it. It's all there, it's all the same. So that's it's nice to be able to do that as well. The reverse ran is a good job. I was using it when I was baling at the weekend. It was quite dusty. We cut the hay. Well, it wasn't hay, but it was almost hay. Cut the silage, and the top 3/4 of it was almost hay. It would make lovely haylage. So it was nice and dusty. Stuff was sticking to the front grille of the tractor, and when you press the button, it just blew it all off. So it's a really nice little feature to have. These are the first John Deeres that you could actually get that feature on, so it's nice to be able to try that out. Yeah, basically the rest of the tractor, the console here, PTO front and rear PTO buttons is here. This is for your spool valve number 2, number 3, number 1, all electric spools, so you don't have to always work them through the lever. You can still use them in this here. This button here is for lifting up and down your arms. This is for your depth control, or you can set whatever depth. Your ITAC buttons here, so you can set your whole headlamp management on those. That's your auto steer. So yeah, I actually may have, I think there is actually some lines there. I might show it in a second how it's working, just generally. And then down here, then we also have your 4-wheel drive, stiff lock, auto and standard diff lock as well. So you control the radio here, sound, skip forward and back on tracks, and your air conditioning is all controlled here, as well as lights, beacon and hazard warning lights is there as well. So yeah, lots of different features. Everything's fairly straightforward. Even with the whole menu, it's fairly self-explanatory, and you get used to it really quickly. So that's a good another thing too is with the buddy seat or passenger seat, when you fold it down, you can fold down the top part of the back rest part of it, and it turns into a little table or work area when you want to eat something. You know, you can have somebody, you can put your cup and your milk and your tea and all that kind of stuff. You can just set it all there without worrying about it falling over. It's a good job as well. The fridge here behind it then as well, nice little fridge. You can throw your milk in there, some water, some drinks, and it keeps it all, or food or whatever, it keeps it all nice and cool in the hot days. So yeah, that's a nice little extra on that as well. There's also a clever little area here, putting your phone. Pop it in there, it's not going to be falling around the place. Someone rings, you can see it there, and it's there beside you. You know, if you pull in, you want to answer the phone, you don't want to have it on hands free, you can pull it out, use it, and pop it back in, and it's safe there. So that's also a nice little job. Just getting my head around the GPS end of it as well. I have been using it on a few different things. It was brilliant on the slurry, and I had it set up on that. You know, driving 9 meters down the field, and it just every time you're 100% right, no overlapping, and you're wasting no slurry. So I really like that. For even at the slurrying, so without even using a drilling or spraying or anything like that, a fertilizer, brilliant on that. And it's very simple to work. You know, the auto track itself, once you have your AB line set on it, it's very simple to work. If we just move really slowly here, all you have to do to get it to work, press your auto track button. It's moving us onto the track now, and it should start to straighten us up. I'm going to hit the wall if I don't stop it, but it gives you an idea. Just straightens it up, and you're 100% right every time driving down the field. But yeah, alright, going to pull it up alongside the 6.9, and I'll show you the size comparison of the two now as well. Alright, so size comparison in the new tractor and the 6.930. I put up a video last week of the new tractor on the round baler, doing some round baling, and it was finished the round baling, was pulling out of the field, and I was inundated with people saying, too big a tractor for a round baler, looks ridiculous, get a wagon, get a big square baler, get something bigger to do. So let's have an actual look at the two tractors and what the differences is. First thing to notice is the 6.9 is actually, the ground is falling this way, so the 6.9 is slightly low on lower ground, so there could be an inch or more in the difference of the ground. And the new tractor, looking at it, is about, I'd say it's about 10 inches taller there to look at, right? I suppose the first thing that you have to notice is the size difference on the tyres. Both tractors have 38-inch rims, but look at the size difference. 6.9's tires is about 8 inches lower than the new tractor. It's because of the profile on the tires. Both tractors actually have 650 in width. Both tractors are 38-inch rims, but it's all to do with the profile. So that's jacking it up quite a bit. The other thing to notice is the cab is bigger on the new tractors. There's a bit more space, a bit wider, it's a bit longer, it's a bit taller. So you're getting a wee bit from there as well. Bonnets is a little bit higher. That's because there's a whole lot of stuff for emissions on this tractor built in there. So the bonnet is a little taller on all new tractors. You'll notice that across the board. So that is another thing. Front tires, even though they are both 28-inch rims, again there's a higher sidewall in this tire than this one here, and that leaves it a little wide higher on the front. The actual wheelbase of the tractor is only 2 inches in the difference. So yeah, it's not very much in the difference lengthwise. They're basically the same. There's you really notice in the length. Even turning in the field seems to be good lock on it. I didn't really notice much of a difference baling. It's not as if it was big and awkward. Felt much the same. The other thing about it is I ordered this tractor with 1000 economy PTO, and it's easier in diesel when baling than the 6930 because it's at much lower revs. So that's a huge plus, and that's going to be a big plus then going along. When lifting silage, you're going to be lifting at lower revs, and also drilling, ending with 1000 PTO, baling as well. As I said, you know, you're working at lower revs, less diesel used, and at the price of diesel, that's a big plus. So yeah, that is basically the size difference in them. Physically, it does look a lot bigger. It is a bit wider on the road. The tires are wider on the front. The 600s on the front, whereas the 540s on the 6930s. So it is a little bit heavier as well. I think it's about 1.5 tons heavier than the 6930. We had it across the weighbridge, and yeah, it is slightly heavier with the same trailer on it. So yeah, I suppose the fact that there's a heavier back axle in it than in the 6930, and it's got front links and there's extra weight, I suppose, involved in all that, and then the actual tractor then slightly bigger. So that's the size. It's not really that much bigger. It's the tyres are really leaving it, sitting it off. I've seen other 215s with slightly smaller tyres, not beside the 6930, and it didn't look that awfully much bigger. I was quite surprised when I seen this one when it come into handling machinery, and it did look a good bit bigger. So anyway, I'm not too bothered about it. So that's that. As I said, getting used to it, and I haven't done much videoing yet. I'm going to be slurrying. I actually have the slurry tanker on. I was moving some water today, so I'll try and get a video up maybe around the weekend, doing a bit of slurry, show you the GPS walking in it, and I'm going to do another walk around on a dribble bar. More or less slurry season's more or less over, and I have it the whole season, so I'll give you a whole rundown on it, if I found any issues, of what I liked about it, and all that kind of stuff. So that's it. Yeah, until the next video, hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, we'll see you around the weekend.